Hello, my name is Peter. What's your name?
My name is Paolo.
So you're Paolo Convinto, and
Yes.
you are grade 9.
Yes.
And can I see your ID, please? Thank you. When was this picture taken?
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Good picture. You've changed a bit. Okay, now just let me talk you through the phases, Paolo. First of all, we're going to have the discussion of a topic that you've prepared. Then we have the interactive task, and then finally we're going to have a conversation on 2 subject areas that I will select. Okay, so we'll start with the topic. What are we going to talk about?
I'm going to talk about fashion and social media.
Okay, can I take this? These
Yes.
notes for me, thank you.
I decided to talk about fashion and social media because I really love fashion and I really love the way that fashion is connected to social media. Nowadays, social media help us a lot because you can find everything, and especially in fashion, you can follow the trends that, for example, some people like fashion bloggers offer you, and you can follow them. But
And it's much easier to do it now than it was in the past.
yes, sure. I think that the best way to follow fashion on social media is Instagram because it is a big app in which each brand has its profile, and it helps you to follow the trends and the fashion shows. For example, Instagram is also important for people that want to be famous. So many people have become famous thanks to Instagram. The most important one is Chiara Ferragni. Chiara Ferragni is an important fashion blogger. She's Italian. Do you know her?
No, I haven't heard of her, but I know the next person you're going to talk about.
Well, she's really famous in all over the world. She started with MySpace and other social media, and she started posting her outfits, what she wore, her trends, her accessories, and things like this. And now she's really important. Thanks to Instagram, she also made her own brand.
So have all the new designers embraced this new technology?
Yes. She also created her own brand of shoes, which are sold all over the world, also here. And I decided to talk also about Yves Saint Laurent because the last show of Yves Saint Laurent was only on Snapchat, which is another social media that let you do video or photos that after a day are deleted.
You seem to be suggesting that the old ways of doing things have now been abandoned and that the way forward.
But I think that that's a good thing because we are in 2016, so time passes, and I think that it's a good thing that technology is better.
In the future, will it develop?
I think so. And I think that this was a good way to follow the fashion show because it was the most followed Snapchat ever, and it helped to sell the collection. Then, did you know this news about Yves Saint Laurent, the fashion show?
Please tell me.
I told you that it was a fashion show only on Snapchat. You could follow it
Exclusively?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, and you could follow it there. So I think that this was the best followed fashion show ever. Each newspaper, magazines talk about it because it was really innovative.
Right, but some people were excluded, I suppose, people who would be used to more conventional forms
No,
of
I don't think so
presentation?
because there in fashion show there was also the public,
Mhm.
but usually you can follow the fashion show only after it.
Mhm.
This was like online, you know,
Mhm.
so it was in real time.
Mhm. So there were no regrets then. This was totally positive for everybody concerned.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to the interactive task. Now for the next part, Paolo, I'll tell you something, then you have to ask me questions to find out more information and make comments. You need to keep the conversation going, and after 4 minutes, I'll end the conversation. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
When I finished my studies, my parents persuaded me to start working as soon as possible. Now I wished I hadn't followed their advice.
So when you finished studying, your parents told you that you had to work.
Yes, yes. And I went along with that, and I've regretted it ever since.
Well, I agree with you saying that you had to continue maybe studying because I think that nowadays studying is really important. Why did you follow your parents' advice?
Well, it was very practical. We didn't have a lot of money. And so the only solution was for me to contribute towards a family income. But I wish now that I'd acted more wisely.
Don't you think that if you had studied more, you could have a better job and earn more money?
I think there would have been lots of opportunities for me.
Yes.
Lots of opportunities.
In fact, I don't know what is your passion.
What is my passion? Languages, I guess.
For example, you could go to the university and maybe study languages and so become a teacher.
Perhaps. A lot of my friends went to university.
Yes.
And their lives have turned out differently.
And you could also maybe earn more money, and it was also a better pleasure for you because you would have done what you loved.
Yes. And I think perhaps that all students should be, all young people should be given the opportunity to study for 4 or 5 years, to go to university and whatever, almost as a right.
I think that you should study even if you want to do something practical, because it is really important that you have like a studying base, and then you can apply it also in a practical job.
Yes, exactly. I agree with you. So I have a lot of regrets.
Yeah, but I don't think that you should worry about it because you could also like follow some courses to I don't know, to not become a teacher, but something similar. Nowadays there are a lot of opportunities. You don't have to go to university.
So it's not too late.
I think so. Because there are so many opportunities. Maybe you could also like searching something online, maybe some courses online, because technology helps you a lot. So I think that you should, you had to go like to university, but it's not too late. What do you think?
So the door is still open for people
Yes.
like me who left education too early.
Also in Italy, there are so many people that didn't go to university, but now they work in schools, and they did like texts, and they passed it, and now they work in school. So this could be a good idea.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll move on to the conversation phase. Let's talk about dreams and nightmares, Paolo. Now, some people believe that dreams and nightmares are not significant and that they should be dismissed. There are other people who think that perhaps they are significant and can help us to understand the past and maybe even the future.
Well, I think that sometimes dreams are important and significant because they help you thinking. For example, last night I did a dream about school.
Mm-hmm.
I had to do my final exam, and I studied things that I dreamt, and the question were really in my exam. So
Right. Well, this exam or
no, for school, for the Italian school.
so you thought that the dream told you something about the future, about
Yes.
something that might happen.
It was like a dream coming true.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes they are also useless because especially nightmares.
Right.
For example, I don't believe about dreams that talks about spiders, snakes, things like this that have meaning. Usually.
So what's the function then of these dreams? If you're saying they have no significance at all?
I think that sometimes, for example, I dream when I am really tired. So I think that dreaming is just a way to eliminate our fears, maybe.
Right. Do you think in some ways that they're able to throw light onto past events so that you can
Sometimes,
evaluate
yes. Especially, for example, when we dream about dead people or relatives that are dead. Maybe this could be a symbolical dream.
Right.
Because you could think
You're very selective, aren't you? The dreams that you think are significant to the dreams that aren't significant.
Yes, because you could think about that person could have tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
Or that he or she could have said something to you.
Okay, thank you. Now let's talk about habits and obsessions. If someone has a habit or obsession that is causing a problem, surely they need help.
I think that it depends on the habit or on the obsession, because so many habits or obsession are just normal, and others obsession are really bad. For example, I watched a program on real time that talked about all these kind of obsession. For example, people that used to eat the hair of her cat or their dog, or maybe people that were attracted by objects, right, like cars, or maybe people that eat their bed.
Right. So obviously these are quite unhealthy obsessions.
I think that in this case they should try to resolve this problem, maybe going to a doctor that could suggest them something to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it depends on the habit or on the obsession.
So when does a habit become an obsession?
I think that an habit becomes an obsession when you are too obsessed about it.
Mm-hmm.
For example, like in these cases, I think that each one of us has tried to do something strange. But if you do it every time, this becomes an obsession, especially if it is a bad habit.
Mm-hmm. And so what you seem to be saying is that you have to catch a habit in time before it does become.
Yeah, I think that habit and obsession are the same thing, but an habit becomes an obsession when it is a bad habit.
A bad habit, one that prevents the individual from functioning
Yeah.
correctly, and
Yeah.
then you need intervention.
Yeah.
Okay. Paolo, thank you very much. We've finished now. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.